doctors up and see if they can get some pro bono work, you know? I mean, it's like in the prison, they go in and experiment on prisoners and all kinds of things. You would think that maybe those kind of resources could be developed.
You would think. But we are kind of outcasts in society still.
Oh, yeah. You know what? Actually, probably, I could, the first outcast I consider worse than my situation. No, that seems funny, but it really isn't funny. I mean, but a criminal with my background, I'm sure, is far easily more accepted than. Well, I know it is. Statistically, I know it is. And looking at the statistics that I read this week were very, very disheartening. You'd 5 times higher that you would be murdered than an Afro-American.
Right. So we take a big risk.
You take as you go out. Yes. We were talking about that last time.
Scary.
And there were other statistics that were even higher that I read about, and I said, so you take a risk every time you go out, or where you are, obviously in employment, and it was really interesting when I came across this. I came across this poem for anybody who wants to Google. It was in the Trans Faith online. There's a transgender Christian resource on the web that it's www.transfaithonline.org. So any of you out there that might want to take a look, but obviously the resource you really want to look to is right on your screen right now. You can, that's T.a.L.L's situation right there that's on the screen, and you can get this information. Also, you can go to my website, and they're right there, so that, and you can contact even through us or through them or whatever. This is a lot of.
Yeah, it's scary. It's very, very scary. And that poem, it's very moving. But it's the kind of thing that we all feel.
Exactly. That's our life in several lines, and we have to be careful who we let know. We have to work really hard to blend in, and I don't really resent having to blend in. I mean, I have a successful career. I enjoy it. So I play the game from that standpoint. But I also have to be very aware that letting the wrong person know about my past.
Yes.
Because I could get hurt.
Yes. And it's hard to know who the wrong person is.
Well, we're talking about getting hurt, and I don't want to put you. Yes, I do. I'm going to put you on the spot. You were so wonderful. In fact, all of it. Talking about getting hurt, and I don't want to put you. Yes, I do. I'm going to put you on the spot. You were so wonderful. In fact, all of you. I was at Niantic Community Church this past week, and you all came out to visit and support what was going on. And a lot of those individuals watch our show, wonderful community church. And in fact, I got a few of our volunteers, while this is being taped, they're down there spreading mulch, manure or whatever. That you got out of it. You're with me here on the show. We have community members down there. I hope that's what they're doing. I don't want to end up a liar. But you were in the house, and the house disturbed you.
I had, yeah, well,
Wasn't the people.
No, everyone was nice. Right. Everyone treated me wonderfully. Have no objection to anything that was said. It was the setting, it was the building itself. I mean, I said in sort of a flippant way last time I was on your show that I had a certain fear of buildings with crosses on them.
Right, right.
And I meant that to be funny. But it's true.
Yeah.
I really can't be in.
We know why, because where you were raised.
Right.
One of the reasons is
Buffalo, the Bible Belt.
We were in the Bible Belt, which is, a lot of people don't know the difference here. from New England. Of course, I was out in Arizona for 22 years and all through that area. But this is very
Right.
real.
Right, and my life was in danger. I mean, it was homophobic. God help me if anyone had known I was trans.
Mhm.
It was a bad scene,
Mhm.
and now I just can't.
Brings
bring
all
those
that
buildings.
stuff back.
It does.
His father pounded on you too to bring it back, right? Because, but actually, it's like the prison thing for me. When I go on shows, and we really go, many now know that the prison book is out when the prisoners ran Walpole. And since the book came out, and since I was up in Harvard, I've been doing nothing but nightmares, and can't do stuff because I'm back in Walpole. I'm back in isolation and all the stuff that you would think years and years have gone by. Of course, I don't know how. I was just up Tuesday to see my associate Bobby T.A.L.L, who is one of the authors of that book. Did 40 years, in many of his years in isolation and confinement. So I don't know how he survives with all that impact, just going through. So I have a sense of what you're going through, and that really impacted me Sunday. It really did, and obviously from that, many people have talked about having a spiritual place.
Yes.
Every one of you are seriously spiritual.
Yes.
Seriously spiritual. I'm not just talking about, for my audience out there, I'm not talking about a little faith or come to Sunday. We're talking about individuals like myself that are really about Christ or their higher power, seriously spiritual people with no place to go.
Yes, that's true.
So we're going to try and do something about
Yes,
that.
we
Yes,
talked about
we're
that.
going to
One of
do
those,
something about
it's one of those things. We're going to meeting place, whatever we call it, where we have a gathering. Obviously, at the house, at our place, we have a gathering once a month. But we need to expand that because obviously, the impact never hit me as hard as it did when I walked out into the parking lot after having done 2 sermons that morning with blessed Pastor John Nelson and Reverend Zoll, both wonderful people, both wonderful, open and loving and accepting people. We're not talking about a church there that's not accepting. We're talking about some lovely people. Actually, there I don't know about transgender, but I know there are gays that go to that situation. So but
Well,
the impact of the
flag
church
out front. I mean,
Yeah.
it was an accepting place.
Yeah. But the impact.
No,
That's right.
no, that's true.
That's right. You need yourself. And we try to tell people that, right? We try to tell people, this is Father. This is you need to do this yourself. You need to find your relationship and understand it's real. That was the Sunday thing was Jesus is alive and well. People don't believe it. Okay, because they're too busy and they're disconnected, and there is more than for what. And I know exactly what you're talking about. It's the imagery of
Of the things that happened.
right.
Some very, very nasty things happened, and it all flooded back.
Right.
Things that it'll always be with me.
Yeah.
I'm never going to get rid of it. I deal with it by burying it, but
Every
it
now,
unburied. right?
every now and then it comes back, and it comes back
and
hard.
being in the building,
Yeah.
yeah, and these two
We're sorry we
put me
dragged
back
you there.
together.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Yeah, that was a very emotional.
She was meant to be there. She was there. I don't know. Believe it or not, I mean, you may be sorry that she was there. I'm not, because what it did for me, it really made me look into more things because we've talked about the spiritual side of this and our involvement from how do you go through this and then keep the Spirit of Christ with you, and how do we go through it? Because I need to learn from you, because I have my own experience in that. How do you get abused by a church and be, totally abused, yet Christ is alive and well with you folks?
Yeah, well, they're independent things, aren't they? Your relationship with God is not dependent on the church. So these are independent things. So
You know that well.
I know that very well.
Mhm.
So you don't need to be able to go into the church on Sunday.